Hello and welcome to this edition of What the Hell Just Happened? The weekly vlog that feels your pain. I'm your host, Martin Gannopolar. Do you remember the use of the term drain the swamp during the last presidential campaign? This was part of a framework used by the Republican candidate to cast himself as a populist, nationalist, reality TV show hero who could sweep away all corruption once he arrived in Washington, D.C. simply by saying, "You're fired." And apparently lots of people bought that he and he alone could do that because they had watched him in their living rooms for years while they dined on Hamburger Helper and Hot Pockets. "Honey, get me another beer. He's going to fire somebody." During the campaign, the candidate promised that he'd be replacing career officials, cabinet members, and judges with the best people. People like General Michael Flynn, Paul Manafort, Ryan Zinke, Jeff Sessions, Steve Bannon, Sebastian Gorka, Anthony Scaramucci, Wilbur Ross, Rob Porter, and most recently the acting defense secretary, Patrick Shanahan, who resigned this week amid the scandal of his own domestic abuse. If you've watched this vlog over the past few months, you know that I've profiled lots of political operatives from the Trump side of the spectrum who were unfit for office. Some are now in jail. Others should be. This week, we'll take a quick dive into the fetid, sticky swamp that the Donald brought with him to our nation's capital. Ready? Hold your nose, because here we go. We begin with Supreme Court Justice Brett "Beerboy" Kavanaugh. We all know that before he was confirmed to the appointment, he was credibly accused of attempted rape when he was a student by Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. One of his most vociferous supporters during that contentious confirmation was law professor Amy Chua, who coincidentally has a daughter in law school named Sophia Chua Rubenfeld. So what the hell just happened between Chua and Kavanaugh? It's been announced just this week that Sophia Chua Rubenfeld will be clerking for Kavanaugh. Now, clerking for a Supreme Court justice is one of the most coveted internships in America. And yeah, you can call it favoritism or nepotism or whatever the hell you want to, because this was, in legal parlance, a quid pro quo. Yeah. Next, we cite the example of Elaine Chao, Secretary of Transportation and wife of Senator Mitch McConnell. Secretary Chao came under fire last week for using her office to funnel over $80 million in road construction money to her husband's state. She even appointed a designated special liaison in her office to handle only Kentucky transportation projects. No other state gets that special treatment. And let's not forget, she also owns buku shares of stock in a company called Vulcan Materials, a business that manufactures highway construction materials. That swamp sure is getting stinkier, ain't it? Finally, we bring to your attention the recommendation this week of a watchdog group called Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. What the hell do they want to do? They want to remove the first daughter and presidential advisor Ivanka Trump from her position in the White House for violations of the Hatch Act. This law, passed in 1939, specifies that no person working in the federal government may use that position to campaign for any candidate or offer bribes to any voter to support that candidate. By the way, this complaint comes a week after the Office of Special Counsel, which is separate than the former Special Counsel Office of Robert Mueller, urged the president to fire Kellyanne Conway as White House counselor over repeated violations of the same Hatch Act. To which Conway thumbed her nose to reporters, sarcastically saying, "We'll see you in jail." Her lips to God's ears. Why? Wow, God, we really need to clear the air now. One of the best places on earth to do that is the Yosemite Valley in the Sierra Nevada mountains of California. This special park is one of the most beautiful and magical places on earth. If you've never been there, put it on your list of places to go. Almost 4 million people go to Yosemite every year. Mountain climbers come from all over the world just to scale her challenging peak, the 3,000-foot high rock formation called El Capitan. Well, last week, another visitor summited El Cap by using a rope climbing technique called Jumerang to tackle a famously steep route known as the Nose. That's apropos, isn't it? This would be a daunting challenge for just about anyone, but to 10-year-old Sella Schneider, it was just another successful climb. Stella and her dad, Mike, who teaches rock climbing, took on El Capitan together. How did they do it? According to Mike Schneider, our big motto was, how do you eat an elephant? Small bites. One pitch at a time, one move at a time, one day at a time. Yeah. Rock on, Stella Schneider. You go, girl. Well, that's it for us. Thanks for watching this edition of What the Hell Just Happened. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.